Oh, oh my gosh, we're recording. Yeah,
That is cool.
It is cool, and I've got the, you know, I don't know if you guys remember back when someone attacked the La Pieta with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And before that, it was because I know we had gone to see it before that, and you could go right up to it. Not that you
Right.
you go up to it. So when they took it down for repairs, they made some masks. So I have the
Oh, neat.
the face of Mary, the bust.
Yeah, that's neat.
And they made it with the original marble pieces. It's not solid. It's the chips.
Yeah.
Or dust or whatever, like sawdust, and they made it, put it together, and molded it.
Huh.
So that's really neat. That's
That is.
yeah, we've seen a lot of his stuff. It is really neat. There's a museum there in Italy of just all of his.
When did you go to Italy? Has it been a while?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Time to go back.
3 or 4 times. We really like that.
Yeah. Well, there's Mary Beth. Can I share the PowerPoint presentation, Mary Beth?
Oh, sure. Yeah, anybody can share.
Okay. I want to share this.
Yeah, I appreciate you having to say it out loud, Carol, because I say it out loud every time.
Oh, this is so fun.
Wait, okay. It's supposed to be on a timer. There. Okay.
There it is.
These
Oh, that's great.
incredible. These are incredible.
They had a really hard time deciding who was first, second,
yeah.
third.
Oh, look at that.
I know.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Recognize anybody?
I recognize those folks.
pretty. Pretty. Wow.
Is this going too fast?
Just a
It's
little bit.
okay. You might want to slow it down, you know, when it's the
Oh,
chapter
I
meeting.
can't believe that.
Yeah, you won, Mary Beth.
That is so cool. These pictures are awesome.
I know they are. They really are.
Wow.
That one's pretty cool too.
That is amazing.
And that's the last of it.
Wow.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Maybe show that again when when it's your turn to talk.
Yeah, I'd like to know how many of them were taken with phones. Besides me.
That one with the mockingbird looks real crisp, and I think that one was Avon.
That's probably a phone right there. Those three
Yeah.
ladies.
Yeah, mine was a phone. I had a
That's
phone.
great.
That one's Avon's too, and I love that.
I know, isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, I like this too.
That is in
Is that-
Rockwood Park.
Was that taken with a phone, Mary Beth?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sophisticated at all.
I just have a little point and shoot, and it has, as a realtor, I have to take like not parodontic, panoramic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's about the only sophistication I have is just doing that. So now you want me to stop this, or let's see. Okay, so.
Hit stop and see if maybe you can adjust the timing.
And make it longer or short? Make
Longer.
it longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
That is so, they're all so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there were so many people here.
Yeah. Hi,
Hi,
Frank.
everybody.
Cindy.
Were y'all able to see the slideshow?
Part of it.
Hey, Kate.
Hi there.
What planet are you on, Brent?
Today, I have no idea. I'm feeling spacey.
That's planet Earth. I can see Europe behind you
Okay,
there.
well, the day this went, I'm just feeling spacey, so.
Well,
I'm
I
glad you say Uranus.
presented the chapter at the meeting of the field session discussion. I'm pretty sure Mary Pearl's gonna have a call with you or something, Brent. And I just said that if they didn't include the Fort Worth Nature Center, that the whole Cross Timbers chapter would withdraw.
We'll walk out in rebellion against
So
it.
they're including it, yeah.
They better. Yeah, I saw the Lake Livingston Environmental Learning Area on the note. Yeah, I don't know if you heard me. She put Lake Livingston Environmental Learning.
You mispronounce it, or if they misspelled it.
She put it as Lake. I was like, where the heck is Lake Livingston?
Well, she admitted she'd never been there.
Texas.
Not really.
Yeah, Liberty, Texas.
Yeah, I know I'd heard of it, but.
Okay, I'm counting 7 board members, so I don't think we're at a quorum yet.
Yeah, I read through her notes, Sharon. I just sent her an email that I would
Yeah.
think about it and touch base with her if I needed it. Saw any reason to need to contact her on phone or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it would be good to have a quorum because I see at least 3 things we have to vote on, so. Oh, we still got 2 minutes till 6:30.
Yeah.
So that's at least 7 minutes till you're late, you know. Well, Brent, that high school graduate you have, is she staying home all summer?
Yeah, so she was gonna get a job for summer and basically couldn't get one, back and forth, and finally, it's a long story, I won't bore you, but we basically offered to pay her to do stuff around the house so she wouldn't have to get a job over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, she'll be leaving, that gives us more time with her, and we got a lot of stuff, it just all work out that way. She won't have to work and she'll be around.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
She leaving home?
She goes to college in August,
Where is she going?
Tarleton.
Oh, how nice.
That'll be
Yeah,
good.
so not too far away, which I'm happy about, but
Mhm.
still the fact that she's gonna be gone, I'm kind of melancholy about the whole graduation thing. Most days I'm like, no, go back to being a kid. I miss my babies. And then there are other days when I'm like, no, get out, leave now.
Brent, I can tell you from experience, Tarleton is just far away enough to feel like you're away at school, but close enough to do laundry at home on the weekends.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There
The
you
only
go.
way to get them home is to offer cookies and free laundry.
Right. Yeah. One of her choices that she was looking at was University of North Carolina. I'm like, no, just not happening.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Chris.
Your money man's here.
That's good.
I'm going to mute myself.
I'm presuming that, hi, Teresa. I'm presuming that Beverly and Carrie are both here.
They're muted, but they're here.
She says,
Carrie's here. Mom's trying to get on her
Okay.
computer. The laptop is getting fixed right now, so we're kind of scattered.
Oh, well. Okay, I'm gonna try. I swear I cannot count and keep count anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Carol, 6, Mary Beth.
It tells you the number of participants at the bottom.
But
Yep.
not all of them are board members.
We'll just subtract the ones that aren't.
7, 8, 9.
Spoken like a
Didn't
scientist.
track me. 10, Teresa. 11, Sandy, unless I already counted Sandy. 7, nobody talk. 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, we got 11 people. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the exciting June the 1st board meeting. Hope y'all are all doing pretty well. I'm trying to share my screen here and look at the updated agenda. So our first point of business is to approve the minutes of the May board meeting, which I believe I sent to you about the 22nd of May. And I don't think I got any corrections. So is there any motion to approve the minutes?
So move.
All right, any second?
Second,
Thank you. All in favor of approving the May minutes and posting them, say aye.
aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you, thank you. All right, treasurer's report. Now that means I'm gonna minimize that window and minimize that window and minimize that window and open.
There's very little to report from last month.
That's good.
We had, I think, 2 people send in membership $20 through PayPal, but one of those was not qualified to be a member. So he decided he would make it just a donation.
Well, that's great. He's a prospective member, correct?
Yeah, I think he is, yeah. And I think the only other expense was an $11 expense. I bought some stamps.
Right.
So other than that, nothing else.
Okay, are we supposed to vote to approve the treasurer's report or?
I don't know.
No.
Okay, good. Good. Well, I think you're going to be busy this next month, Chris, based on what I have on the agenda.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. So, am I still sharing?
Yes.
Okay. So, I don't see Melinda here yet. Okay, Mary Beth, take a deep breath because since
I'm here.
we're going to see if, oh, Melinda's here. Hi, Melinda.
Yeah, I logged in at like 6:31 to find you guys already voting on something, so I'm sorry. But I'm here. What time did it start? Is it 6:30? Okay. I couldn't find my webcam, so I was looking for it and I found
Well,
it.
I counted, and when I got to a quorum after being distracted by at least 2 people, and we just
Okay.
voted on minutes, Melinda, so that's
No problem.
that's okay. All right.
I'm here though. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Well, I want you to talk about training, but if you want to look this over for a minute first, that'll be okay. We could always go back to Carol showing the photo contest winners.
Yeah, give me like 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. Carol, why don't you share the photo contest winners again?
Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. I changed it to 5 seconds each.
That's good.
Even this one.
It's okay.
Congratulations, Christopher.
Chris, that's great. Where was that
Wow.
photo taken, Chris?
Thank you.
Where did you take that photo, Chris?
That was actually right outside almost outside the community center at Chisholm Trail Park. He was sitting on the gate the little fence that surrounds the trash things, and he had a rat in his mouth and he was going away. I've got a great video of it too.
Oh, cool. So what kind of camera did you use?
I have I think it's an Nikon, I don't remember anymore. I've got it put away over there.
And Lori, it's not Lori, it's Alexis is here. Alexis, will you tell your mom she was a winner?
Absolutely. I didn't know if I should tell her or let her be surprised.
Well, it's up to you, but I would say go ahead and tell your mom. It's something,
You went through
Sure.
them so fast. I'd like to.
I
see
won't
them
tell her
all.
which one.
Oh, okay. We'll run them we'll run them through a second time. Plus, Carol's gonna show them at the chapter meeting.
Yeah, is this going too fast for the chapter meeting? This is 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Way
quick.
fast.
What do you think? Another 2 seconds or 3 seconds
It
longer?
wouldn't hurt. It's not that there's that many. It doesn't hurt because we can talk over it. It doesn't hurt to have them be 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Why don't I do that? I'll do 10 seconds. I'll make a note of that.
Folks can ooh and ah over them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And for some reason that Roadrunner goes by awful fast.
Yeah, he goes by quick.
Oh, he does. Well, he's a
He's a
road
road runner.
Of course.
Fine, he's supposed to.
That's a cool picture there.
Mhm.
It is.
Good picture.
It was that one.
That was. Yeah.
So she won Truth
I love that one.
Yeah.
and Avon won twice with her entries.
Growing in asphalt. Nice.
I somehow got so busy, I totally forgot about the deadline for that thing until I saw it was too late and went, oh well.
That's what happens.
Too bad. So sad.
Much. I couldn't have beaten Chris anyway. That shot was great, man.
Mhm.
I got lucky. That bird just stood there and let me
Yeah.
film. It was amazing.
Oh, Lori has 3.
I like that one, Mr. and
Mhm.
Mrs. I like that one too.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I'm surprised that didn't win.
Thanks, Carol.
Okay.
Good job.
It was a good job. We have
Teresa
some
said-
really talented members.
I have a text here from Teresa saying she's unable to get on the Zoom meeting. Is anyone else having trouble?
Tell her no.
She was on there for a minute. Okay, Melinda, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Could you, if you could put that back up, just because I only have one screen right now, and then I can look at it.
Okay. So what I was sharing?
Yeah, just that little, if you don't mind.
Sure.
That
No,
works.
no.
I don't have it right out.
Okay.
All right.
Can everybody
so-
read this? Well, of course, I think I sent this, but that's okay. Go ahead.
I think I have been saying the open house is on the 14th. I mean, not to applicants, but to a couple of committee members. So I need to go back and double check that that I got that down, because my brain obviously didn't.
It is the 15th, right?
It is the 15th.
It'll be on that Tuesday because we always do the open house the same night the classes are, which is Tuesday nights.
My calendar says August 17th on Tuesday.
No, this is for the open house is in June. The
Oh,
August
June.
17th is the first class meeting.
And for the first meeting, we're meeting at the Botanic Garden instead of the Fort Worth Nature Center.
Yes, but we'll get down to that.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say about the Zoom open house, Melinda?
I think we may have lost Melinda. I don't see her. Yeah, it looks like we lost her actually.
So the
Oh,
August
she'll-
17th, what time will that one be at? Normal time?
6:30 or
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Mary Beth, are these still, are these, like the new class dates are in the calendar in the new website, is that correct?
That's correct.
Six, and
The field trips are in there too.
okay. Is there anyone who needs an invitation to the Zoom meeting who hasn't gotten one yet? That is the June 15th meeting.
And that's on the website also.
Under join us.
Yes,
Do we have
I'm
any
back, y'all.
applicants?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Do we have any?
Right now, I'm asking if
Mondays.
anybody needs an invitation to the Zoom meeting on June 15th.
I may have, I don't know if, am I supposed to be there? I would hope.
Board members are not required to be there, but you're welcome to be there. And then you can laugh at the mistakes we make, like I make.
Or you can be
Now.
there to fact check us in real time.
Beverly and Carrie will not be there. We'll be out of the country.
Oh, what a shame.
I know, right?
I hope that's a good place you're going.
Yes.
where you
Melinda, anything else you want to say about the open house?
I have a question.
Cocktail.
Do we have any candidates yet?
Well, we actually, since the time I wrote this document, I looked this morning and there were actually three responses to the application.
That's great. No, I mean, I was just gonna say for the open house, we met with Michael yesterday or when was that? Friday?
A couple days ago.
And kind of talked about some things. So we would do the open house, which we'd be happy to have any board members that want to be there. And then, I have some new committee members because 2 of my committee members moved. And so I have 2 new committee members. So they're going to be there to be introduced. And we're going to have one of them, I'm hoping I can get her on board because I've got a Zoom meeting scheduled with the committee tomorrow evening. So we're going to kind of discuss the upcoming open house and kind of how we're going to handle everything this year. So,
Melinda, would you include me in that meeting?
sure. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
So I'm going to see if I could get Ryan because she's a brand new member and she's been doing lots of really good things at the Nature Center and putting in a lot of hours. And so she's going to hopefully introduce herself and kind of talk about what it's like kind of going through the classes and being a new member. So, so that'll be good. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm glad you have on here the books. That was on my list of things to mention that we need to go ahead and order books. I think I have about 3 books left over from last year, but I think they come in boxes of 10. So
okay, Melinda, before you go any farther on the books,
sure.
Regarding the open house Zoom,
Yes.
Mary Beth, I hope you will be able to record that.
I will.
Okay, I'm writing a note, but my notes get so messy. Mary Beth will record Zoom, and then we already got one comment from a person who wants to join but can't be there on the 15th. So will you post a link to that Zoom meeting on the, I'm sorry?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because do we want to, because I responded to somebody today about that, and I don't know if it was the same person that you might have seen their email, but I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was going to be out of town. She wasn't sure if she was going to be able to view it. But do we, since these are just applicants, do we need to just clip it to the presentation part, or do we need to have their, them with their login names and everything on there? Do you know what I'm saying? Is it like a privacy thing? If we post the Zoom, is that a dumb question?
So is that a question for Mary Beth?
For who?
Oh,
For
you mean,
anyone
do we
who's-
need to get permission from the speakers?
Yeah.
Well, or from just the people attending if they're gonna be speaking. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm probably taking it too seriously.
Well, we could send a link to it to people that want it.
Okay.
On the privacy issue,
Yeah,
we certainly have our meetings open to the public.
yeah,
And
that's true.
put the name on there, and we don't feel like that's an invasion of privacy, nor have we ever had a complaint.
Okay. Okay, okay, that's fine. Again, I thought maybe I was overthinking it. I tend to do that occasionally.
Well, what I'd
So-
like to be able to do is post a link on that join us page of the new website. You know, if you missed the Zoom open house, you can watch it here.
Sure.
And I know, Mary Beth, before you logged on, very early on, there were 3 or 4 of us that had already logged into the meeting, and all of a sudden a pop-up screen said, "This meeting is being recorded," and it gave you an option of continuing or leaving. Did you know it does that?
I didn't know that.
So,
Something new for all Zoom meetings.
okay.
Okay.
So what we'll just need to say, Melinda, that the meeting is being recorded. You know, we're all being our ethical master naturalist selves, so. Okay, now about the books. Are you okay with right now, we'll approve ordering and paying for 30 textbooks?
Me? Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I figure, you know, we might have upwards to 30 people in the class, and then I have about maybe 3 books left. And so I know some of our, we give the book to the, any of the presenters that haven't gotten a book yet. So we need to have a couple on hand, because I know we might have some turnover this year with a couple of our speakers for the classes. So I think if I've got like 3 and we have 30, that should be enough.
Yeah. For those of you who are new to the board, if we buy these books in bulk, they're $35 each. If we send in our tax exempt form, we don't pay tax. And I think I added $12 shipping for the first book and $2 shipping for every remaining book, and came up with about $70. So now that's Sharon's math, which is not the same as probably Chris's math. So we
Okay,
can
help me
round
out,
that up. If-
here. What do I need to do with this?
Well, you're going to need, when we get the order written and put together,
Yeah,
then what is Chris going to need to do with this?
I need
Is
to write
Chris
a
put in
check.
the order?
Yeah, if he could do the order, that'd be great. And last year we had it shipped. I guess he could write a check. I'm assuming, or however, I don't know if we have a card anymore.
No, we do not have a card, and that keeps
So-
going at the bottom of my list.
So, you know, a check and to send in to AgriLife, and then they will ship them. We last time had them shipped to, I believe we had them shipped directly to the Nature Center, but no, we didn't. Hold on. I think we had them shipped to AgriLife, and then I went and picked them up.
Chris, would you email me tomorrow, and you and I will figure out, you know, we can both go to the state website. We can see what it is. It's the, you know, it's Texas A&M bookstore kind of thing. And you and I can without taking up these other folks' time, we can figure out, will they take a purchase order, or does someone need to write a check? Well, yeah, you can write a check. So
I'm sure they'll take
So
a
that-
check. I
yeah.
just need to know to whom we're writing it, how much for, and what we're getting in return, and where to ship it.
right.
And I also
Okay.
need to know if I need some kind of an authorization from you, Sharon.
Since
do
it's
that.
over 1,000.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I still need the authorization to write the check.
Exactly. So of course, we may not have to communicate tomorrow because no one may move to approve this. But
Oh.
you and I, Chris, you and I will get together. If you'll email me tomorrow, and And then you and I can get that kind of detail without these other folks.
Aaron, on a check over 500, it requires the signature of both the treasurer and the president on the check. So
That's correct. Unfortunately, Chris and I do not live too far apart. So we'll meet at Starbucks or whatever place Chris recommends.
Whatever. So Tuesday. Tomorrow, you want me to? Okay, yeah, I'm open tomorrow pretty much except for,
Just email me tomorrow and then we can set it up.
all right.
And I can move to, do you still need somebody to move to approve that?
Yes, and I need you to say what amount.
I will move to approve the board to order. I will move to approve the order of 30 textbooks for $1,050 approximately, plus approximately $70 shipping, which would be about $1,120.
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
All opposed? All right, it has been moved. Beverly, we need you to get that, make sure you get that it was approved to order the textbooks for approximately $1,120.
What is the $600 that is highlighted up above?
That's another thing, but Melinda kind of skipped down, so now we're gonna skip back up.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, y'all. So for I forgot to mention this, even though it was right there in front of me. For the first and probably the last meeting, we've decided that it would be really nice to have everybody be able to meet, especially on that first class. So Sharon has made the reservation with the Botanic Gardens using some of our accredited money we have. So we're going to rent the auditorium for the introductory class that Rachel is what Rachel gives. And we're going to order some boxed lunches, and that way it will be nice for everybody that's in the class to kind of meet each other in person.
Melinda, you cannot have food in the auditorium.
We've already discussed that. And that's, yeah.
Sure you know.
Yeah, and we always,
thank you, Bill.
We always make the first, half an hour or so more of like a social, or at least, we have everybody try to get there early. So we usually have like the first hour to, half an hour as sort of socializing and visiting and kind of getting to know each other. So, so they can do that out in the lobby, and we can do the lunches out there.
You'll need to keep them in the lobby if you want them to socialize. Our experience there is that they spread out.
Yeah.
And nobody talks to anybody once they get inside.
Yeah, you might want to mention that not spread everywhere, but kind of stay closer together. If people go in that auditorium and they just go to the far reaches and
go walk outside and find a nice quiet bench where nobody's around.
Well, given that we're still in this twilight zone of COVID, we can't really require them to come in close. If they want to sit far away, we can't say, we can't intimidate, bully, anything. So there's advantages and there are disadvantages, and since we had all this, y'all wouldn't believe how much money we have in the positive side with the Botanic Gardens, because we've canceled so many meetings. So when they said that this auditorium was open that day, I said, we'll take it. And it won't be the best location, but another advantage is that it's central. And I've had a not easy conversation with Michael about the nature center being fairly remote and very dark for those of us who don't have 25-year-old eyeballs anymore, you know? And we're working, we being Melinda, Vicky, and Gina, we're working on how do we make this more accessible and how can we be more inclusive, you know, and our hope was that people have heard of the Botanic Garden and even though they don't know who we are, they would be willing to go to the Botanic Garden. Rather than what I'm supposed to drive all the way out there and it's dark and I don't know I know it won't be dark in August, but just the whole concept of how do we make this more welcoming? And so that's why we went with the Botanic Garden, and that was the room that was open, and they're going to give us a tech person that will help with the PowerPoints and the sound. And I asked that twice. So that's why we're going to this location just for the first meeting and most likely for the final meeting. So again, I apologize, Melinda. You've already begun to notice that I tend to interrupt.
It's all good. I do the same.
That ties into something I didn't talk about at the very beginning, which was that we're going to cancel the July 5 board meeting. If you want to have your own meeting, go ahead, but I want to watch fireworks. And that we're going to hold in the tradition of board meetings, we're going to hold our August board meeting on August 17th in the lobby of the lecture hall of the Botanic Gardens. And that way, as many board members who can be there on the 17th, we'll get to, you can introduce yourselves to the new class. We can, you know, bump fists, shake hands, smile, whatever people are doing at that point. And then Melinda and her group will adjourn into the lecture hall and we will stay and have a board meeting. So those of you who've been on the board before, this, I believe this follows tradition. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now there's a glitch in that you can look at, and I'm going to skip that for right now. There's a little glitch there about approving funds, but we're not to that point yet. So everybody's clear. No board meeting on July the 5th. Yay! And the August board meeting is moved to Tuesday the 17th at the Botanic Gardens. And okay, now we're ready. Sandy?
Yeah.
So why do we need $600?
For the box lunches, actually it's going to be like a box dinner. I looked and talked to several different restaurants. And Sharon, did you have that paper that you could put up and show people, or maybe we don't need it?
Oh, I can put it up, but since you and Melinda agreed that Potbelly is the best deal, I think everybody else will go with it.
Okay. Potbelly actually works out the best. They offer a variety of sandwich options, including vegetarian. It's going to have a sandwich, chips, and cookie. Now they have different types of box things we can get. And if we get, I think it's called the box of sandwiches. It's actually a long sandwich in half, and then they put it in a box. So you have a variety. Everybody comes and actually takes half a box.
Cool.
And
see, that's the one thing I was wondering about with COVID. Do we just want to have like food out in the open? Because that's the way I've done it in the past before COVID. We would just have like a box of sandwiches and people would just, you know, they're kind of cut so you can see what they are. So that's why I was thinking like a box lunch might be a better deal where everybody gets their own individual box that people haven't coughed on or breathed on, or, you know, I was thinking that we might want to do that.
If we do it that way, it's $10.49 per box.
Yeah.
And that comes up $524.50 for 50 boxes.
So would you say that if the board approves a $600 for purchasing whatever lunches, drinks, flatware, napkins, hand sanitizer, that $600 will cover? And then if people have, like Josephine may have all the paper plates and 5,000 forks, then Josephine, you can get with Sandy and tell her. But as far as what the board needs to do,
Yeah, also in the past, they give us plates and utensils.
okay,
So we didn't even have to worry about that.
okay.
They also have free delivery. They're the only ones that have free delivery. We just tell them what time we want at Botanic Gardens. It stays refrigerated and they'll bring it over.
That's great.
But you still need to tip the delivery guy.
Yeah.
I think that would be nice, yes.
Yeah.
But I think $600 should do it. And I've in the past told everybody to bring their own drink, but because it's a Botanic Gardens, we might want to do that differently and just have everybody,
Bring water.
Bring up bottled waters or something like that. So,
Bottled water.
Yeah.
Or their water bottle.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Anybody want to move that we approve this?
I move that we approve $600 for the box.
I'll second that.
Mary Beth, could you hear? I couldn't hear that very well. Could you say again the amount and for the first class meeting?
Oh, I move that we approve $600 to purchase food for the first class meeting.
That I heard that much better this time.
Okay.
Linda?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Yes, is this just for the open house or the first meeting?
This is for the first meeting.
Okay.
In August.
Okay.
Because the open house is on Zoom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor of approving $600 for food for the first class meeting? Say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, then the motion passes. Thank y'all so much.
Now, something y'all might want to do if you're going to order just like the whole.
Okay, Carrie, we lost you.
Sorry, something you might want to do if we're ordering different sandwiches and stuff is maybe do a Google form with these are the options we can order. What would you like? Because some people are vegetarian and they get very upset when they don't have a veggie option.
Right.
Yeah, they have a veggie option. We just need to tell them how many they want.
Yeah, that's something I definitely, in the past, I always make sure there's vegetarian options. I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for like 30 years. So I feel the pain. So yeah, I was thinking if we could narrow it down to 3 or 4 different types of sandwiches plus a veggie option, and then just let everybody who we know is going to be there specify what they want.
I'm writing that down, Carrie, so that when we get closer to that, we can at least you've said it, and we're going to try and find a way to make that happen.
I have one thought or potential suggestion for the first meeting.
Okay.
And you guys may have done this. I don't recall when Mom and I went through training. Going back to Sharon, your comment about making it as welcoming and as kind of friendly as possible. With the first meeting being at the Botanic Garden, if there would be an opportunity to show like driving instructions or even an actual video of someone driving from 121 to the Hardwick Center, here's how you get there. That was, I know, really confusing for Mom and I the first time because we had not been out there previously. And it was, oh yeah, you just drive down there, you take a ride on, and it's at the Hardwick Center, and we were like, no, not really.
Okay, now Alexis, this is at the Botanic Gardens, not at the Nature Center. So
She's talking about.
are you asking?
Are only the first and last classes in person and everything else is in Zoom?
Yes, but
okay.
The field trips, several field trips are at the Hardwick Center. So I think that's a great idea to include driving instructions to Hardwick Center.
Okay, yeah, for anything that would be, just thinking because the first meeting is at the Botanic Garden, which is far more easy for folks to Google and get to. Having that opportunity to say, hey, when it comes time to get to the Hardwick Center, here's how you get there. Or I know for some of our field trips, we didn't meet at the Hardwick Center. We were at the, what is it, the maintenance building or that other location. So just having something that kind of calls and points out exactly how to get to those locations.
That's a great idea.
I think could be appreciated.
Yes. And that's something we can get on the website also.
Sharon?
Yes.
If you haven't been out there recently, they are rebuilding, they're building a bridge, a second bridge over Lake Worth. So there is lots of construction, lots of detours in and around Lake Worth, over the lake and in the city of Lake Worth and in Fort Worth. So
and that's on 199?
Yes. So you're gonna have to go right before and tell them, if you give them instructions now, it's going to change in 2 weeks.
Right. Good point. Well, I don't envy you having to deal with it, but we all go through it, don't we?
We know the back way.
Yeah. Melinda, anything else we can do to help you get ready for this training class?
No, but if you guys have referred anybody from your other volunteer activities or any other part of your life, be sure to give us a heads up so we know that you've referred them. I think we have a place on there on the form, I believe, if you were referred by someone, but still it'd be good to just know, or if there's somebody you really recommend, please let us know.
Isn't it pretty common that we send a list of applicants to the board members? And so any board member who might know an applicant can say, oh yeah,
I think we've done it. I don't know how consistent we've been on that, but we could do that for sure.
Thank you, Melinda. Your busy season is here.
It's coming right around the corner.
All right. Are we ready for item 4? Mary Beth?
Yes.
I'll stop sharing, Mary Beth.
Okay. I can show you my messy notes. Here are my messy notes. In the past, the hosting chapter conducts a fundraiser, and the funds are to raise money for the state, which we learned about at our last meeting, how strapped Mary Pearl and Michelle are for funds. So we have been meeting, we being Kayla West, Kate Morgan, Sandy Thornburg, Ryan Wiggins, Sharon, and myself, to talk about the fundraiser. And last year, if you look down here, what has happened in the past is that the chapter receives 20% of the funds that are raised through the fundraiser, and 80% goes to the state. And what the committee is proposing, the committee thinks it would be a good idea for all of the money that is raised to go to the state.
Could you make the type a little larger?
Thanks, Frank.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
sorry about that. So what I'm bringing to the board is to ask you if you will agree that Cross Timbers Master Naturalist does not take any of the money that is raised through the fundraiser, which is going to be a virtual nature venture, which will involve people contributing to iNaturalist.
Would it be better for us to go ahead and take the 20% and then just make a check donation to the state? Or would that do something for us in some way?
Well, what we were thinking is that the registration process would be very simple because we wouldn't need to separate the funds. We would have all of the funds go directly to the state.
Hmm.
If we can do that combined registration.
Yes.
Yeah, that part hasn't been cleared yet.
I did do a little homework this afternoon, and I talked to the account coordinator at the registration software called CVent, C as in cross, CVent. And we're going to set up a meeting with the account representative and Mary Pearl to talk about how this can be done. But the account coordinator at CVent told me it would not cost anything additional for the state to actually have this registration for the virtual nature venture.
That's good.
Does that answer your question, Chris?
Sort of. I guess since we're the host chapter and we will be putting in hours trying to help the state, I'm just wondering if there's some way we can get some kudos, some recognition for the fact that we're graciously giving up our 20%, if you know what I mean.
This is Hester. If I could add one note to that, or just a question. I'm not sure last year, but most years the state sends out an inquiry sometime in advance and asks if the different chapters want to make a contribution. Those contributions usually show up on the program in 2 or 3 different categories. And usually we make a donation and of pretty good size in the hundreds, and it goes into the program and shows that we donated. And usually the bigger chapters do have an amount that they donate to that program. But I don't know what happened last year. But in that case, we just need to know that we might be asked again. It's fine. I think it's a great idea to use all our funds for them since we're not strapped for money. But I still think we will be asked again for a donation to help with the program.
Does anybody know what we gave them last year?
Last year we did not, but in the past we've given them 500. I am looking on the website right now. There's a link on the website to be a sponsor. And the sponsorship, this is on the state website under state meeting. To be a friend donation is 150, an ecologist is 300, a steward level donation is 500, and probably the amount we're looking at is conservationist, a $1,000 donation.
What do you think 20% of the take is going to amount to? Does anybody have an idea?
Mary Beth?
Well, last year, the net, I hate to say income, but the net raised was $5,200. So to get to 1,000.
5,200, 20% of that is about $1,000.
Yeah. I think we'll raise more than that this year because we'll have more time to plan it and it won't be involved with physical activity. Last year, they promoted it as a 5K. We're going to take that away and just say, please create iNaturalist observations.
Well, it seems to me, if the board feels strongly enough that we want to support the state to give them the other 20% plus give them $1,000 conservationist, I mean, that's fine. But if we want to just kind of give them about $1,000, we should probably go ahead and take our 20% and then just give it back. You know what I mean?
I wasn't thinking that we do it twice, Chris. I was thinking that our 20% would be this conservationist level.
I just want to make sure we get the recognition that Hester talked about in that case.
Oh, I feel sure we'll get recognition.
You can put that on your list, Mary Beth.
Okay. I think our state people are pretty good.
I mean, we could give them 20%, and if it's not 1,000, we could say we're $1,000 minimum, something like that.
Okay, so what we wanted to talk about and bring to the board for a vote tonight is for our chapter to not take 20% of the proceeds from the virtual nature venture fundraiser for this fall. So if anybody wants to make a motion.
I can't do it.
Mary Beth, if it comes as a recommendation from the committee, you just make it as a recommendation, needs no second, and we go right to vote. And
Oh,
go
okay.
right to discussion.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you very much for your wisdom.
Okay, so that goes in the minutes.
We need a vote.
Bill just said we didn't.
No, we don't need a motion in a second, but we need a vote. Don't we, Bill?
All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
I didn't hear about the opposed.
Oh, that's not in favor.
I'm gonna be a son of a bitch and say no.
Okay.
Only because I'm a little concerned that we're not gonna get the recognition that we deserve if we do give them 1,000 or more. So anyway, it carries.
Chris, we'll make you your own recognition.
I don't want recognition. I want this chapter to get recognized. That's all.
That's true.
Okay.
Sharon, if you want to, the comment you made earlier, I disagree with you about us not making a donation and using that 20% as a donation.
Okay.
I think we should, before we have always, whatever the minimum amount it took to get recognized in the program, which this year it's not on there. It doesn't say how much for the program. So we could just pick a number, I think at least 500, if not 1,000, that we make as a donation up front. And then in addition to the 20%.
Okay.
We need to decide that now?
We need to decide it probably by October 1st.
Okay.
I'm going to click on that, see when the deadline is.
So we need to find out what is the minimum amount to get on the program as being recognized.
It's not listed that way, Chris. If you saw the little things you put up before, the categories are quite different this year.
What I'm reading when it says click to become a sponsor, I'll share again. Thank you. I'm gonna stop yours, Mary Beth. So right here, see if I can get that into the middle of my screen. Right here at the friend level, we're on the rotating slideshow as low as the friend level. Is that what you're talking about, Bill?
Well, we have to be able to read all of those different things. I can't see half.
You have to keep them still and not move them around so fast.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Take the little.
All right. I'm
There you go.
moving back now.
That's good. Right there.
That's good.
I think the 1,000 does give us a lot better recognition.
Oh yeah, but
And I really think that since that has been mentioned, that's a good place to put the 1,000, and then whatever we get on the other.
So how about if I ask Mary Pearl and Michelle if our money that we raise will count towards this sponsor?
Sure.
No,
No,
I doubt it.
you don't want to do that.
I doubt it because this has to be done ahead of time. That we probably won't know till the event, will we?
Yeah, that's right.
Bill, what's your reasoning?
well, because we're not, I mean, that whatever that 20% is not any of our money. You know, this puts our money on the line. Say we are as a group, we are sponsoring, we are supporting the state meeting like we've done in the past, that we've done for the last at least 4 years that I've been around. We've supported it with whatever the rules are different this year. Before it was about $500 because that was what it took to get into the program. But now it's the categories are different. So I would say we go at least a minimum of the 500, and I would recommend we go to the 1,000.
In addition to the 20% that would have come to us. So you're recommending the 1,000 in addition to the 20% that would have come to our chapter.
Correct.
Okay.
Make a motion, Bill.
So I move that we as the Cost Timbers Master Naturalists donate or become a sponsor at the conservationist level for the 2021 state meeting, as in addition to the previously approved giving our 20% of the fundraising money back to the state.
I second.
Any more discussion?
None of these things are saying that Cross Timbers is going to be on the program.
Very first one now is, Carol. Look at the very first one you get in the agenda booklet.
So you're on the website, the booklet, and the slideshow that they show at all the meals.
Okay, so the 500 won't buy us the thing, the recognition in the program or the booklet?
Yeah, it does. The friend level gives you that. Then you go one more to the ecologist and you get posted through the program app banner in conference hall. Then you get 500, you get something else, and 1,000, you get something else. So it all builds up.
Right. Okay, I got it. So what's wrong with 500 plus the 20%? That's a lot of money.
But the motion is for 1,000. So that's.
Well, then I oppose. I think it should be
Okay.
only 500 that we contribute and give them our 20%.
Okay. Yeah. Any other discussion?
The speaker's introduction for every day is a great plus. I like that.
Say it again, Hester. Couldn't hear you.
I said with the conservationist figure, it gives us introductory slides for every day's speaker. So it's a little more than the others, but anyway, it sounds like for our size club, that's a suitable amount.
Yeah.
Just
And let's face
saying,
it,
I like it.
we do have the money. I mean, we could easily do this. It's not like we're dipping down into our.
We do have the money and the savings account. I don't, some of y'all tell me, when was the last time anyone touched the savings account? Because it hasn't been in the last 2 years. So,
I don't think we even need to touch the savings account. I'll have to look at it again. But
We moved that over my very first year because we didn't want to keep it all in the checking account. We wanted to have, at the time, you could get a little bit better interest in the savings account. So we moved some of it over to the savings. We didn't need it as operating funds.
yeah, it's a good idea to do
That,
that.
and we didn't do anything last year, so I'd be okay with the 1,000.
Yeah, we get 13 cents a month on the savings account. 13 cents a month.
Are we finished with discussion about the motion that's on the table? Okay, the motion, I'm going to not try to quote it exactly. The motion is that the Cross Timbers chapter make a donation for the state annual meeting at the conservationist level of $1,000. We know that this is in addition to the 20% of funds that will be raised through the fundraiser. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
I guess that'd be me.
Okay.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
the other 500 should go to the back to the members, but that's just me.
Okay. All right. So that motion carries. So we will make that donation, and Chris will figure out, you and I can read this website and figure out, you know.
Yeah, I want to make
Well, look,
sure
we
I
get
have,
to make checks payable to the, you can make a check. So
Yeah,
when you write the check for the textbooks, you can also have the check to this program, and then you and I'll sign both of them and
Right.
get them on.
I can write checks all day. I just need to make sure I have authority and the backing and the paperwork to back it up.
And we appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. I can close this window, right? I can close that window. All right. Mary Beth, your next steps that your committee's working on?
The next steps are the registration process, talking with the state about our plan, looking into the swag that we're going to hand out. Any other details that I need to get into? We've got a lot of details.
Mary Beth, this is Kate. We also need to speak with Tanya about the logistics of using the iNaturalist.
Right. Thank you, Kate. And we're going to complete our planning by June 30th.
That's great, because I have a president's meeting on the 28th and they're expecting me to make a report, so.
That ain't the 30th, that's the 28th.
I know, but.
We could finish early.
All right, so I think we're done with number 4. Carol, thank you. And could you remind us who the judges were for that photo contest? Especially the winners want to know who the judges were.
How much money are we getting for that?
A nice,
I want to know.
a nice hand clap is your
okay.
prize.
All right. Bragging rights.
Bragging rights. There you go. And the judges were Paul Knutson, the same ones we had last year, which are going to be mentioned in the newsletter. Paul Knutson, Candy Halberton, and John Stewart. They're all photographers. Paul Knutson is a professional photographer, and the other two are amateur. They're not master naturalists, so they're totally unbiased. They were looking at the quality and all, they had all this criteria that they were judging by.
Cool.
So
cool. And you're going to encourage the winners to enter, or anyone to enter the photo contest that will go with the annual meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, I did that last year as well. And then of course, everybody agreed that even the people who sent in photos but were not a winner or honorable mention or anything, we can use their photos on the website, you know, on that rotating thing that Mary Beth uses. So
just long-term thinking, at last month's president's meeting, Michelle or Mary Pearl mentioned that they are considering building, you know, hosting an archive of photos. And they will want to use it, you know, for PR, or, you know, they got another brochure to put out, or another PowerPoint to make. And And so that discussion is kind of going on in the background because obviously they're trying to work on this state meeting between now and October. But we'll have plenty to be able to contribute to that. And Carol, the milestone pins you mentioned, could you say it again? That was so long ago, I don't remember.
Okay, sure. Just thinking about milestone pins, the state, there's a big gap between the 1,000 service hour pin that the state gives us and the 2,500 service pin that the state gives us. That's a big gap. That's like 1,500 hours that goes unrecognized by our members. And I have done some research and I've been thinking, and if anybody else has any ideas of how to recognize people between 1,000 and 2,500 hours, we're thinking a pen, another pen, in increments of 250 hours, which would be about 6 additional pens that the chapter would buy. And this is just our chapter that would be doing this. When I go through the VMS and I go from the beginning of time until today, there's about 30 members that would be recipients of these pens in the different levels. But we would add, every 250 hours, a member would get another pen, or if somebody has another idea of what else we could do to recognize the people that put in that kind of time.
What is the cost that you're looking at with
I've been in close contact with the guy that does the pins for the state that makes the butterflies and that, and the cost would be, and there's minimums and there's setup fees and all that kind of thing, but it would be, one moment, please.
It's all right.
Starts
About $257. And that would be 65 pieces. And we would designate the different levels of hours with colors like we do with the dragonflies. He can do that. This is the same guy that does the Texas pins. And then there's another vendor. Hester's been working with me on this too. There's another vendor that works with the master gardeners, and he's still working on getting me some quotes and answering some questions and doing things like that. But right now there's about 30 members that would get them right as soon as they were delivered and recognized in the newsletter and at the meetings and that, and it would cost about $260, say $260 to get started on this. And then if we now the only downside of all this that I can see is that whoever is the membership director, which is me right now, but whoever follows me is going to have to be the one that keeps track of all this stuff, because VMS doesn't keep track of hours between 1,000 and 2,500. So that's the biggest downsize, or the biggest down thing about it, is that the membership director, whoever that may be, and I'll probably figure out some kind of system and then they can work on making improvements on it, but it would be more of a hassle for that board member.
Well, Carol, do you think you can have sort of the proposal ready by August 17th?
Yes.
And then we can vote on it. And as far as it gives more work to the next membership director, we'll just add that line into their responsibilities and duties. So.
Well, I'd like to get some feedback on the board right now. Does this sound like something that to pursue? Is it feasible?
Can we convince the state that it's worthwhile doing on a state level?
They do not have the funds.
Yeah, no.
Carol, what?
No, we'd be the only chapter doing that.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know the answer to that, Chris.
Chris, we are not the only chapter doing that.
Oh,
I
good.
know of other chapters that do not on the same thing, but they do give additional awards, different pins. Carol, tell them which pin you were thinking about, maybe.
Something that goes along with our name, Cross Timbers, the acorn, and having different colors, like for the state, it's the dragonfly. But for our chapter, because we would be the ones doing it, the Cross Timbers chapter, it would be an acorn that would come in different colors for the different levels of service hours.
Hester, do you have any, just, I know I'm asking off the top of your head, but if you know that other chapters do this, would you say it might be half a dozen or a dozen or?
That Sharon, I'm sorry. I just have heard them talking. When I would go to president's meetings years ago, they would be talking about giving other awards. And I don't know what their levels were given. I really don't know. We could do some research.
Yep.
I think 250 sounds like too much. Maybe 500 instead. To me, sounds more reasonable. That's just off the top of my head, but I mean, you're talking what, 6 more pins or whatever that is between the two timeframes from the state, rather than 3.
Well, if it was 500, it would be 2 pins that would be given away. And if it was
I never said I was good at math, so.
Yeah, it's two pins at 500 increments, and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins at 250 increments.
I don't know. I just think I think 250 sounds too much to me. I think there's also something, I don't know how to word this other than to say, just, I mean, the feeling of accomplishment when you reach the big milestones. So every 250 to me kind of dilutes it too much. If that makes sense to anybody else.
It does, but my what I would want to say is there are members out there who graduated in 2017 and they're just now getting their 250 hours. And so it takes a long time. Our membership is getting younger. We're all getting older, but our membership, the new classes, they're getting younger. And yes, they have families and they have full-time jobs, and it's difficult for some of these folks to get their 40+8 every year after they get their initial. And so the 250 I was thinking is just kind of a incentive to just keep logging in, because that's what started this in my mind, was how do we get members to log their hours? That's worth $23 an hour to the state. That's a lot of money. And some people just don't log their hours because don't have time, they're too lazy, they don't think it's worth it. I mean, everybody that doesn't log has a reason. But if there's some incentive to keep these people logging their hours, so that Mary Pearl and Michelle were talking the last meeting about how they need so much money. And well, if the members would log their hours, the state actually gives them money.
The federal government, yeah.
It's so important. That's what we're all about, is volunteers. And that gap is just so big. And the first one is 250, and then the next one is 500. Well, that's the 250. That's where I got the 250, why we should do increments of 250 hours. But like I said, that's going to be the membership director that has to keep track of that outside of the VMS, because it'd have to be a system that, and I've already formulated in my mind how that can work, but they would still have to be the one that comes up with the people to award those pins to.
As someone who is very, very bad about entering their volunteer hours, I can say from my perspective, I think the recognition in between could be helpful, but I don't know necessarily about a pin per se. But really, the the information and the knowing about why and how our volunteer hours reflect on the state's funding and what that translates to really is more important than the, getting a pin every 250 hours, I think, at least from my perspective. Because that gives me that why. Why do I need to sit down at the computer when I sit at the computer for 10 hours a day during work? I hate sitting at the computer. Why do I need to take that 15 minutes to do that? That tells me more about it.
And with that comment, Sharon will just make sure that her President's Pen column from the June newsletter is posted to the website. Just above, maybe just above, log your hours here. We'll have that section of why you should log your hours put right in there.
Yes, I think so. Making it just more visible and really emphasizing that why it's important.
Okay.
Alexis, I think that that's probably the most important point that's to be made, is to not only get your hours in, but get them hours in the day you do it. That way you don't forget next weekend that you didn't do it, and then 2 weeks later and it's not any good.
Yeah, remember,
I will do this.
Everybody should remember they're getting hours right now, right?
That's right.
What I would like to suggest, and Carol, I'm going back to you with this. I would be very happy to start in the morning and do a survey of all of the chapters in Texas and see if any of them, I know some are, but to know which ones and when they're giving additional pins for any category, and see what kind of results we get. That way, by the next month, you would have a little better picture of what we are doing statewide. Would that help?
That sounds great, Hester, and we appreciate it. I'd like to table this discussion and get on to a couple more things. No, we're not going to slog through the budget, but I want to ask Alexis about the status of the bird boxes and so forth. So I'm going to table that discussion on the milestone pins and
until the August meeting. And
I am going to do, I already sent the draft, but I'm going to do this right here. And given that we've now going through June, and so this is half of the year 2021, I'm going to say that we're going to use this year's proto budget. Bill, you can just laugh, that's okay, as a guide to build the 2022 budget. I'll make that larger. And I'm going to suggest that by about, why would that be 8? My goodness. That by about November of 2021, we're going to nail it down, and we're not leaving until we do.
Mhm.
Putting it off till November, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay. One last thing, if anybody has any other suggestions besides pins, just let me know. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Is there any other new business? I don't know of any, but.
As far as an alternative to pins, I don't know how challenging or whether we would have the ability to do that. But what about recognition on our website? Do we have something like that?
That sounds good. Add that to your list, Carol. Is that Alexis talking?
Yes.
Okay. Alexis, can you give us an update on the status of the bird boxes and the Adopt a Park?
Absolutely. I've been back and forth a couple times with Gian, with the city, who I'm working with on getting the application finalized, the contract, I should say, not the application. Working to get some revisions built in around the trash pickup, just to be a little more specific and clear as regarding what our volunteers would actually be doing. So that way there's no misunderstanding or expectation that we would be emptying the on-site barrels, for example. So just clarifying, we're going to be doing just litter pickup there throughout the park, as well as they are waiting. So something that's on my to-do list for today or tomorrow is to mark out the approximate locations of the Bluebird boxes. They're going to try to include that there in the agreement as well, and clarify a few outstanding questions. But we are moving forward, and hopefully we'll have that finalized well before end of month is my goal.
Alexis, have you selected the number of boxes we'll be doing?
We're going to do 8.
Okay, and who's picking the locations?
So I have walked the park with Kimberly, and we looked at what would be some good locations regarding the open field opposite the Bluebird boxes, where they would be flying in and out, to and from, as well as some of the surrounding trees, and trying to avoid potential squirrel pests, as well as potential other hazards, like if there's any existing animal trails. So we've got an idea.
Well, if you work with Kimberly, I'm sure you're doing the right thing. I was just curious because are they all going to be on posts sunk in with concrete?
That maybe not concrete. When I spoke with her, what she typically does is takes the like rebar and drives that down, and then slides the metal pipework over the rebar to secure or to kind of keep the poles upright, the posts upright, and then takes like a post driver and kind of pushes that down into the ground as well. That is something that's going to require our actual box locations to be a little tentative, because there are some areas in the park that are very, very rocky, and I don't know how easy it might be to drive some of those into the ground.
I need dynamite.
Yeah, so the initial plan was that we would have volunteers actually go out and install them. I'm thinking through now, we may end up coordinating with the city to at least get the posts in the ground, depending on how difficult that proves to be.
Yeah. All right, great. Keep me in the loop. I'd like to help with that. I would be out there picking up litter if you guys didn't start at 30 in the morning. So,
well, there's nothing stopping you from coming by later to pick up litter, Chris.
Well, I could do that, but I don't know. Is that legal, quote unquote, to get the credit for it?
For volunteer
we can talk
hours?
about that. We can talk about that. If you work something out with Alexis and if you and she work something out, we can talk about that.
Okay.
And then I will say we do have some evening sessions on the calendar as well. So those are usually on Wednesdays.
Oh, good. Okay.
Before I ask Mary Beth to announce this month's speaker, I'm going to remind you of what was up there at the top of the list, and that is we are most likely, more than likely, to need to call a board meeting late July after we get we'll get the applications in on June 30th. Then we'll know who needs the scholarship applications. Then we're going to send out the scholarship applications, and then we will, then we'll need to vote on how much money we can use to fund the scholarships. So the fourth Monday in July is July 26th. And we can do it that evening, but until we know how many and how much, then we're not, there's no point setting a date for a meeting, I don't think. So So just be aware that you'll get some emails from me after we look through those scholarship applications. Keeping in mind that the goal of being more inclusive means inclusive of a lot of different kinds of people. It doesn't necessarily mean one minority or another, but it may mean some folks who otherwise couldn't afford to be members. So so just be aware of that. Okay, and I'm not asking for any discussion on that right now because I want to end by 8 o'clock. So Mary Beth, who is our speaker here on the 21st?
Our speaker on the 21st is a young, talented man named True Nguyen. He's a professional photographer. He's going to talk to us about photographing nature. He has a really interesting story about photographing some grizzly bears in the Grand Tetons. And he's got some beautiful photographs. So,
could you send at least just the board members the link to his website so we can look him up? And then of course, we'll probably be wanting to send that out to membership.
I will, and I'll get a little bio from him also.
Okay. And you said his last name is Nguyen, as in Nguyen. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Partly I'm spelling that for Beverly, so.
We have plenty of Nguyen's, but what was the first name?
True, it's Trieu.
That's a good point, Carrie. I had forgotten about that.
His information is actually on the calendar, but I will send you the link to his website and his Instagram. He's a friend of mine. And I actually spent some time with him recently. And I'm hoping, you know, when you're program chairman, you're like, oh, I hope this is going to be good. But,
been great so far.
We'll see.
TMN Tuesday is Sam Kieschnick. If you can't attend live, that's tomorrow. If you can't attend live, they will post the recording. And gee, Brent, what is it that Sam is going to be talking about if Brent is still here?
So you're just trying to rub it in and make me mad? Is that it?
I'm sorry. Well, no, I if you weren't here, I was like, I keep calling on people and I don't have the whole list of who's still here. So you know what he's talking about, right?
Like I said, keep rubbing it in. Trying to steal my thunder. Okay.
Why is that rubbing it in?
He's talking about my subject and I can't even be on the call.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So what's he talking about? But dragonflies?
Dragonflies.
Yeah, my babies.
All right. Well, if there's no other business, then we'll adjourn this meeting at 7:54 p.m.
I'm going to email you or try to schedule a call. I was going to bring something up, but since it's already 8 and you're wanting to get off, I'll table it for just a conversation with you later.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
What time do you want to talk tomorrow, boss?
I want you to email me and we'll set it up.
Okay.
Okay, so you email me and then we'll decide when we want to talk.
All right.
Okay, thanks. All right, thank y'all. Thank you, Mary Beth, for being our host.
Move to adjourn.
Oh, move to adjourn?
Oh.
I move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second it.
Second it. Thank you,
Chris, that
non-board
bird looks
members.
like it's on your shoulder.
Kayla, Kate, Alexis, thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.